to find you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen from around the world. Welcome to another edition of the Global Talkative Series. I'm still your host, Larry Ajayi, and this is a platform where we bring you information that is rightful, that is pertinent, that is important, that is valuable, through the blessings of our individual guests that we've had on this show. And today, we have another beautiful guest in the house, someone that's, will be coming with our own experience to share with our global audience how to live a healthy life. Today's topic is health and wellness post COVID-19. And it's an honor for me to bring in Diela Okran into the studio. I'm going to bring her in on Instagram right away.
Awesome. I think I got it. There we go.
Yeah, cool.
I'm not gonna see myself on the.
Okay, I can see. Can you see me very well?
I can see you. I can see you.
All right. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, our guest today is Diela Okran, certified health and life coach. And we're reaching here from our studio here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And today's topic is health and wellness post COVID-19. Now, this is a very vital, and important topic that we all need to be aware of, to how to take care of ourselves, how to be healthy, how to live well. And it's an honor to have, a certified, health and life coach in the house. And like we did on this show, I'm going to bring you, and I'll be reading to you a short bio about our guests so that you can have information about who we're talking to, and then you can relate to her by the time she started talking to us. And just listen to this. And Diela is a certified health and life coach, an artist, fashion designer, social entrepreneur, community builder, and sustainable life enthusiast. She grew up in Ghana, where she did a majority of her schooling, nurtured her love for art, and developed an early consciousness of the importance of giving back, especially through volunteering at church and her parents' non-profit project Reach Out, which allow us to see and engage with people from different parts of the country. She moved to Calgary, Alberta, Canada to pursue a bachelor's degree in fine arts, BFA, from Alberta University of Art, then ACAD. And since then, has gathered experience in a variety of industries. I believe everything I have experienced has brought me to this very moment, and the good and the ugly. I am definitely excited for growth ahead. Welcome, Diela. How are you today?
Thank you. Thank you, Larry. I'm doing great. Thank you. I hope you're doing well as well. And I hope everyone who's watching and listening is doing great. I'm excited to be here. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. So let me ask, how are you been doing, coping with this COVID-19 pandemic since the lockdown?
To be very honest with you, in the first month, I was a mess. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and say I was all put together and everything was fine. I think like everyone else was trying to figure out what was going on. But I think after the first month and getting into a schedule and figuring things out, because I'm also a single mom, so I was also trying to figure out homeschooling for the first time. I saw so many videos online that made me laugh. Parents pulling out their hair, trying to homeschool. But yeah, it's been a learning curve for sure, and I think now I'm I'm okay at this moment. But if you ask me this, the first month, it would have been crazy.
Thank God you're okay now. We've all learned lessons on how to
Mhm.
do homeschooling. I've been working as a teacher, as a father, doing all things together. That really made me to appreciate what our teachers are doing. It's not easy teaching kids, the
Yes,
basics.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's amazing. So let's go right.
And I have one, so I can't imagine people who
Yeah.
have like two, three, five
Some of
kids.
us we have like more than one, and those I have friends with like 4 or 5 kids, and I can't
Hmm.
imagine how they've been able to cope. It's a lot
Yeah.
of work, but thank God we're
Yeah.
getting better and we're getting, out of the curve little by little, observing all the major procedures that the health officials have asked us to do. So
Exactly.
let's go right
Exactly.
into this question.
Okay.
The first question I have for you today is, from your perspective as a health coach, can you tell us what impact COVID-19 has had on individuals, families, and relationships during this season? Very similar to the first question.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think we touched on that a bit in the beginning. I think just in I'll touch on the five major areas, which is health, obviously, finance, career, relationships, and that which is greater, your spirituality, stuff like that. So when it comes to health, um, I believe when your body is in a state of panic or fight or flight, um, it happens. But if it's in that state for a prolonged period, it can have an adverse effect on your health. So um, I think health wise, the effect that it's had, hopefully, is that it's given people the ability to really pay attention to their health, um, pay attention to what promotes health instead of um, other things, right? In terms of finance, the effect that it's had, obviously, on most people is the loss of jobs. I lost my job
Mm,
prior to COVID. So um, that coming to like join the whole equation was not fun. So I think from a financial perspective, those who obviously had planned for emergencies probably didn't get a big hit like those who live paycheck to paycheck, right?
mm,
So financially, I think that's the effect that it had. Let's say career wise, a lot of people lost their jobs, right?
mm,
That can have a huge effect. All these things we're talking about can have a huge effect on your health,
mm.
right?
Yeah.
So, and I guess spirituality, I mean, I'm a Christian, so churches closed down. So we were all at home. We all had to figure out a new way of doing things, from health to career to everything. So those are some of the effects. But I think as human beings, we're very resilient. And when things happen, we may panic, but then our wheels start spinning. We start
Yeah.
creating solutions to things. So I think from my perspective, that's what I've seen um, has had an effect on most people. But
Wow.
yeah, I think we're doing very well. We're
Cool.
doing very well.
Now,
Yeah.
yeah, still talking about the effect of this COVID-19,
Yeah.
mental health is a major issue here in the Western world and all over the world. Now, the question
Mhm.
is, in your own estimation, what impact has COVID-19 has over the mental health of individuals in the past 4 months?
Yeah, I think a big one would be stress and anxiety.
Mm,
Um, People not knowing what the future holds. Um, I think for some people, it's been just adjusting to the new climate of things. And I think it's very important that we tap into all the resources that are available to us when it comes to mental health. I'm not a mental health expert of any kind, and I'm going to say this for all the information that I'm going to give. These are all my views, my opinions, my perspective. It's always good for you to seek the proper attention or the proper um, medical attention from your health practitioner, or even if you hear something, to double check with whoever knows your situation best, right? So I know in Alberta they have a lot of resources when you go to, let's say, the health website, our healthcare website. They have mental health resources for you. So it's had an effect, like stress has had an effect on a lot of people just because of the unknown, right? And also the fear of contracting a disease that could possibly kill you. That's a lot
Yeah.
of stress, right? So I think in some of the effects of that, I mean, not sleeping properly, not eating properly, or even if you're eating properly, not really absorbing um, the nutrients properly because you're not in a restful state, right? So I think some of the effects have been stress. I think the top two I would say would be stress and anxiety. It's always good to reach out to people that you can talk to, especially when you're quarantined or you're locked down.
Yeah.
And if you're someone who's like living alone, that's a lot, right? So I think it's had different effects on people depending on what situation they're in. So
Yeah.
I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, fair enough.
Hmm.
Now, in terms of mental health, what key
Hmm.
steps individuals need to take to deal with their health, especially when this pandemic ends?
Yeah. Um, I think some of the things that have an effect on our bodies, regardless of pandemic or not, is first of all, you want to be able to, um, we say mental health. Our mental health is not separate from our physical health, right? These are all things that work together. So the food we eat
Mm,
can affect our mental health, right?
mm,
Um, I think my advice would be to eat real food
mm,
instead of processed food, right? That
mm.
will help your body build its immunity. It will help you have a clearer mind, um, more focused, right? I
Yeah.
think another thing would be to take your sleep very seriously, to actually get enough sleep. Um, that's a huge one that a lot of people deal with. I think sleep is a big problem. Um, a lot of um, water intake. You want to be hydrated. These are all functions that help your brain function properly, your body function properly. And a healthy mind lives in a healthy body, right?
Yeah.
So we
Mm,
want to make sure that we're moving, even if it's 5 minutes a
yeah.
day. You're moving, you're going outside, you're getting sunlight, you're breathing fresh air. Reach out to someone. Like I said
Yeah.
before, reach out to someone, have a conversation. If you need further help, we were talking about the other day, there's like a whole stigma against therapy.
Yeah.
Um, that's another resource, right?
Yeah.
Therapists are great for dealing with mental health issues
Yeah.
and just getting your mind in the right space. But anything that
Mm,
you could do to get your mind in the right space is what you basically have to do. Whether it's reaching out to someone, getting help from external sources, or you yourself practicing things within your own ability that will put you put your mind in a healthy state, right?
yeah.
Is what is encouraged for
Thank you
sure.
very much. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now, you as a certified health and life coach, what are
yeah.
the areas in which you coach people about, basically? Like if I
Okay.
want to
Mhm.
come for a
Yeah,
session, what are
yeah.
the things that I should be expecting or look for?
Okay. So basically, when someone comes to me, what I do is that I let them fill out an assessment sheet. so I can have like a bird's eye view of what's going on in your life, right?
Yeah.
Because we can say, oh, eat this, move this way, but there's so much more that contributes to your health than what you put in. The external does just one moment.
Why are you using two electronics at the same time?
This
Okay.
is what happens. Okay.
Like
Miguel.
I can see two people.
Yeah, that's Uncle
Is
Larry.
that clone machine or am I just going
It's okay.
crazy?
Wow.
Thank you.
Okay,
We have a
one
guest
moment.
joining
One
us.
moment.
I was just gonna record.
You can say hello to our audience briefly.
You want to say hi and then say hi and you can go
How are
watch your.
you?
Okay, thank you.
But I was going to use your phone.
Okay, I'll bring it to you later. Thank you.
But I really want
Door
to use
closed. Thank you. Yes.
All right.
This.
I'm about to lock it.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
You with the key.
Okay. So I lost my train of thought.
So we're
Sorry.
talking about what area in case I want to come in for a kind of some form of
Exactly.
health coach. What are the things I
Okay.
need to know or should I
Yeah.
expect for?
Yeah, so I'll go through that assessment and also ask certain questions that gives me a better idea of where the person is at. Also, I need to know what the goals you have for your health are, right? So after we fill out that questionnaire, what I'll do is I'll have a consultation and I'll talk to you. Takes about 45 minutes to an hour. And that's just to build rapport, find out what my program entails and what you are looking for. If they match, then we work together. If it doesn't, and I know someone else who can help you better, then I refer you to the person. So basically, what I have are two programs. I have a 90-day program and I have a 14-day program. 14-day is more like someone who is looking to reset their system, like a cleanse. 90 days, someone who has like some goals that they really need to meet for their health, their life. And we put those down and we have a system. Basically, I'm supporting you to reach your goals and I'm holding you accountable without judging you, right?
Yeah.
Because it can be tricky. But you don't want to judge the person. You want to hold them accountable. You want them to reach their goals. So basically that's how it works when I'm working.
Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
Now I have a question here. Now we majority of us have been like locked down at home for like 3-4 months, eating and drinking and doing little exercise because the gyms are not open now. Now, what kind of exercise do you think we can, be doing or adopt, around the house, since the gym are not open? What kind of exercise do you think we can get into?
Okay, so I think right now there's a host of online fitness videos all over the place, right? If you don't want to go to that extent, you can come out of your house and take a walk. It's as basic as that. You just don't want to be stagnant. You just don't want to be sitting all day, especially if you're working from home. We do this even at the office. We're sitting behind our desk. We're into our work. We forget we've been sitting for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So one of the things you can do is set a timer. Maybe every 30 minutes, it reminds you to get up and move. So what I say is that you don't have to be doing anything crazy. You just need movement, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm referring to exercise, I say movement because you just need to move your body. It doesn't have to be a particular exercise, but like I said, even taking a walk in your neighborhood is perfect, right? You just want to be moving your body. I think in Canada, the recommendation is how long do they want you to move? I think it's maybe I'm thinking per week, but something over an hour, 30 minutes. I thought it was extreme, but I think even to work out, right?
Yeah.
To move your body. But I may be wrong on that quote. But for me, especially if it's someone who doesn't move at all, telling them to do 30 minutes a day is a huge deal for them, right? So you can start by saying, hey, every morning when you wake up, stretch for 5 minutes or take a 10-minute walk, something manageable. I think I'm more into habits that can be sustained over intensity, right? So something that can be sustained over a long period of time is better than, oh, I'm going to do 1 hour of kickboxing today and tomorrow nothing happens. And the next day nothing happens, right? Which happens most of the time. So I think don't be too hard on yourself. Everybody and everybody is different in what kind of movement or exercise works for them. So if you're new to moving your body or exercising, don't be too hard on yourself. Start with, like I said, 10, 15 minutes and go from there. I can't recommend one specific exercise, but I think if you're not a gym person, there's so many things online. Take a walk, go for a run. I don't know. Like there's so many ways to move, right? So it's not a one size fits all.
Okay. So our audience, this is still the Global Talkative Series, a global platform where we've come to learn from each other, share ideas and experiences, and we're blessed to have guests, from all walks of life come on this show. And our guest today is Dela Okran, certified health and life coach. And today's topic is health and wellness post COVID-19. Now, the other time you were talking, you mentioned something about habits.
Yes.
It has been said that habits are essential part of you, who you are. Now, what kind of style of food, like habitually that we can, be eating, that can still help us to maintain our to be well, to be good, because majority of us, been at home eating any kind of food, and now restaurants have been opening, people are ordering here and there, not something that we have to break the bank. What kind of food habitually that we can, get ourselves into and be eating on maybe daily basis?
Yeah. I think the simple answer is eat real whole food. Eat real whole food. Like what is coming from the earth. Like, so you want to be eating your veggies, your fruits, your proteins, like just real food, basically. Now, I don't believe in one diet fits all. I believe we're all individuals and there's a perfect diet for me and there's a perfect diet for you and the next person. But it's not necessarily what works for me that's going to work for you because we're different and our bodies need things, right? So I think the general rule of thumb would be eat real food. And where you can't get everything that you need in your food, that's where supplements are recommended, right? So supplements are basically filling in the gap for what you can't get through your direct nutrition through your food,
Okay.
right? So yeah, as much as you can cook at home,
All
you're
right.
saving yourself some money and you know what you're putting in the food. So you
Yeah.
can guarantee you're feeding yourself something that is wholesome, right? Now, if you go to the restaurant, you can go to the restaurant once in a while, treat yourself. Even when you do go to the restaurant, if there are certain things that I think nowadays it's better, if there are certain things that you can't eat or you, because of the way you're eating, you want them to take something out or add something in. I think most restaurants are pretty lenient and will actually cooperate and be like, oh, okay, we can take this out, we'll add this in. So if you're really looking at like your health and you want to like step away from eating stuff that's like too oily or whatnot, actually when you go out eating, you can still order something that's close enough to something that's good for you and your body, right? But the rule, I think back home, growing up in Ghana, it was normal to cook at home.
Mm-hmm.
And when you went out to eat, it was like, oh, someone's birthday or some occasion or something like that. Whereas like here, it's the opposite. I think most of us eat outside, and then when you cook at home, it's almost like a treat. It's like, oh, we cooked at home today. So it's different cultures, right? So as I think just COVID-19 has allowed us to kind of come back to that home cooking, which in a way is good for our bodies. So I think the best way to eat is to eat wholesome, like whole foods, real food, opposed to processed foods, sugary foods, and stuff like that. And hydrate. Your body is made up of over 60% of water. So you want to keep hydrating your body so all the things that are supposed to function properly are functioning properly.
That's
So
amazing.
basically,
That's amazing. I have a question from someone on Instagram. Just want Grace Hills Event Design. He or she says, please, what advice do you have for someone with very really high metabolism? I just can't add extra flesh.
oh, they're trying to build muscle.
It person said, what advice do you have for someone with very really high metabolism? I just can't add extra flesh. Probably she wanted to add some flesh, but she couldn't, or he couldn't get to add flesh. So,
Yeah.
what advice do you have for someone like that?
Oh goodness. Like you would have to try different diets, right? I You'd have to try different diets and see which actually helps you build. It's building muscle, basically. It's building muscle because I don't think the person wants to add fat, right? They
Yeah.
want to add muscle. So you want to eat foods that improve on that. You maybe want to do a little more exercise as well, exercises that help you like increase muscle mass. But you probably also want to work with someone who sits down and looks at what you're eating and says, "Hey, okay, this is what you're eating now. Um, let's switch this food for this food and see how it works," right? Until you've tried different options. Like if people say everything, I've done everything and it hasn't worked, but they're options. I don't think you've tried everything in the world. If you want us to work on something, you can contact me. We can find something that works for your specific body.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I also have like a high. I'm skinny. I'm not that big, and I was a runner, right? So my metabolism was really high. I could eat everything in the world, and people are like, "Ah, but you, where is this food going? Because we don't see anything on your body, right?"
Yeah.
But I think it takes specific foods and specific exercises to
Okay.
start building muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The person said, I want fat, muscle,
Oh,
anything to gain weight. He or she wants anything to gain weight.
anything. Yeah, I hear protein does it. I hear protein does it. So I mean, maybe you have to increase your protein intake, but
Okay,
you
you're
have to
saying
work
that
with.
in case they wanted to get to know more, they can get to see you. Like, is there a kind of website or something where they can connect with you?
Yeah, for sure. And I work with people from. It doesn't. You don't have to be in Canada. I've worked with clients in Ghana, Ivory Coast, like So you can go to cocreate.card.co. That's COKR8.CARRD.co.
Yeah.
And basically it has my contact information there, and we go from there.
Yeah. So to our audience on Instagram, you can go to get to know more about wellness, Grace Hills event design. I want to add fat and flesh and everything. Go to www.cocreate.co. That is
The number 8. Yeah.
COKRARD.co, and you get that. Thank you very much, Ria D, for joining
Thank you
us.
for your question.
For Shell Gushala for joining us. Thank you for all those who are joining us on Instagram and YouTube. Nzenga Modeste, Ajao Matthew, Matovic Joe Jose, Vitamin D, Commander of the Federal Republic of Nigeria from Lagos, Bankole Ebenezer, Ola Sukomi, Charles Ojame, and Kara. Thank you for joining us on this global talkative series. Today's topic is health and wellness post COVID-19, and our guest today is Diela Alkram, certified health and life coach. And if you have any question for Diela, you can send your question on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, and then we'll do our best to answer a question. Jolakbo, thank you for joining us as well. We appreciate all those who are joining us from around the world. So, in terms of metabolism, health, and wellness, all of that, what would you say it is important? What are the things that you want us to look for? When you're trying to, because there's something about fat and muscle. They're different things. Now, some people go to the gym, muscle, but of that, like and a muscle, we want just to live, well. So how do we go about that?
Sorry, Larry.
Because
you broke out for a second there, so I couldn't hear anything.
So I'm saying that, a lot of folks, they want to have a moderate tone body, not the kind of power muscle like
you're not going for MMA.
I don't know how can you, what can you do? I don't want to be carrying weight all the time so that I can become like Mr. Universe. What I can take to still maintain my, even though 6 packs can be like, so what do?
Okay, I'm not sure if this is from my end, but Larry, you went completely blank on your YouTube. Okay, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I won't let you repeat the question because you went out, but I know you were saying something about for someone who wants to like maybe gain muscle but doesn't want to be all like Mr. World or what. First of all, I would say that like I was saying for the other question that came in from Grace, you want to look at a diet that will actually, and when I say diet, I mean food that works for your body, that will actually help you gain muscle. Fats, not all fats are bad, right? you have quality fats that actually your body needs, your brain needs to like be healthy. So exactly, to function. Um, and I mean, you could do different exercises. Like for instance, I work with fitness trainers, instructors. So I can show people basic exercises or movements that they can do to I can show them basic movements, right? But if they wanted to go really intense into something, I would refer them to a fitness coach or a fitness trainer and say, hey, I have a client who I've taught them basic um, exercises that can actually help them, but maybe they need an extra something that maybe you can help them with that will help them get to that body goal that they have, like a physical appearance that they're looking for. Um, Now, let's say I'm basically like a personal trainer, but for what you eat and how you live. Now, when we're going into very specific things, as in you want certain fitness routines, then you would be talking to your fitness trainer.
That's good.
Wow.
Thank you very much
to
for that.
school.
I have a question from my audience saying that what can you do to get a proper sleep? It's someone that
Okay.
I don't get enough sleep. I don't fall asleep. I,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just take a computer.
Mm-hmm.
the person have struggles with sleeping on time.
Mm-hmm.
She'll be on the bed for the next assuming she's going to bed for like 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. and she's still on the bed for the next 1.5 hours or two before actually
Okay.
sleeping off. And then as early as 5, she's awake, or 4:30. So
Okay.
what would you recommend for someone who has this sleep depravity?
Yeah. It depends. There are different levels, right? Someone like me, there's some days that like I can't really sleep well. And maybe I need to take a certain teas help you sleep well. Another thing that okay, let me just start over. First of all, there's certain things that you can do to prep yourself for sleep.
Okay.
I started by saying that there are different stages. Some people, whatever they do, they can't sleep. You need to see someone about that.
Yeah.
There's something called sleep apnea. That's like a different stage. You probably need to see your doctor and tell them what's happening. But in general, I would say that you want to have a routine. So if you fall asleep at 10, you want to fall asleep at 10 every day. And before 10 o'clock hits, there's the hour before you sleep, whether it's 10, 9, whatever time, the hour before you sleep is your power down hour. So if you can, don't have electronics in your room, your phone, your laptop, all those things. You probably want to put them somewhere else. Use that 1 hour if it's music, if it's a book that you need to read. If I use aromatherapy a lot, right? I love when my room smells good and it's relaxing. Um, Make sure your room you don't have too much clutter in your room. Your space is peaceful. Your room that you're gonna sleep has to be a space where you get there, you want to relax, right? So they advise that you don't have a TV in your room. A lot of people have TVs in their room. So like it's stimulating your mind, right? A TV stimulates you. You can be as tired as anything, but if you're watching TV until you turn it off, you won't fall asleep because you want to know what's happening, right? Um, Sometimes it has the adverse effect. Some people say they fall asleep better when they watch TV, but it's not advisable. So there are different ways that you can prepare yourself for sleep. One of the big ones is like that 1 hour power down time. You make sure that you know, okay, I'm done eating by 7. I go get stuff done. 9 o'clock, I'm starting to power down. So, like I said, it could be a nice bath. You could take a nice warm bath, something relaxing, a shower. Some people can sleep better. Like me, I sleep better when I have a nice warm shower and I feel like fresh, I feel relaxed, I sleep better. So it depends on the individual. There's so many things that you can try to get you to a state that you're nice and relaxed and able to sleep. Now, like I said, if it's something that you try, let's say they call them sedative teas, they pretty much power you down. They calm you down so you can fall asleep. If you try, let's say aromatherapy music, you try, what was I saying? Like reading, all those things, and it doesn't help. I mean, there are many other options, but if you're trying all the options that exist and they don't help, you probably need to see your doctor about it. Now, you also don't want to be the person who has to take medicine each time you want to sleep, right? So that's why it's good to talk to a doctor if it's becoming a problem that is like repetitive and it's really hard for you to do it. Another thing is getting sunshine during the day.
Okay.
When you go, it's good to take a walk or maybe go out for maybe 20 minutes or something, because there are chemicals that our body gets. One of them is melatonin, and it actually like puts us in a great place for our body to prepare for sleep, to get us like great sleep. So I know in Africa we get sun all the time. Here it's a different story. So we have to take our vitamin D more regularly. But if you can, whenever you can, get out, get some sunshine. That helps you. But,
Thank you so much for that. While you were talking, you mentioned aromatherapy.
Yes.
Now, someone wants to know how effective is this procedure and what do I need to do when it comes to aromatherapy? What do I need to do? What do I need to learn?
Yeah. First of all, I'm no expert in it, but this is my personal experience that I've had with it. I have like, I wish I could. I have these oils, essential oils that I use. If you have like a humidifier or something that brings out steam that can distribute the smell, you can use that. And for me personally, the effect it has on me is that certain smells relax you. Certain smells also invigorate you. It's like food. You smell something and you're like, oh my goodness, like smells have an effect on you, right? So with aromatherapy, my personal experience has been when I want to like wake up my senses, maybe I'll use a peppermint oil or something like that, which is also good for cleansing. And I have another that's more like a citrus one will wake you up too, but like something like a lilac aromatherapy oil, like a essential oil, is something that will probably calm you down, right? So you have to like experiment. Like I say, it's never a one size fits all. People need to experiment with what works with their body, with their rhythm, and go from there. There's so many people who have great experience in this area that you can ask, you can read about it. Nowadays, we have information in the palm of our hands. What I find is it's most of the time where people like myself come in, like your health coach comes in, is not really because you don't have information or you don't know what to do, it's mostly because you need someone to hold you up to it, like hold you accountable and give you guidelines to follow. But aromatherapy, I think personally, it's worked for me. It just creates an ambience for me to relax, right? So I would tell whoever was asking the question to give it a try, and see if it works. Yeah.
So I also mentioned very cool music,
Yes.
I don't know, it might work. So in your own
Yeah.
opinion, think you're trying to get some sleep or you're playing some music. Does it work? Work in some cases. What are your own experience?
Yeah.
So it's
Sorry,
also
was that
good
a
as
question or you were making
well.
a statement?
I say now, what are your own experience? What are your own opinion about playing music
Oh
before going to
yeah.
bed?
Yeah. Music is, I feel like in every stage of your life, there's something different that gets you into certain moods or whatnot, right? There was a stage in my life where music was the thing. If I was going to bed, I had my music on, soft music in the background, and it did it for me. Now, aromatherapy does it for me. So I think just like, I guess just like the way our eating habits change in different stages of our lives is the way it can never be, I'll say this again, it can never be a one size fits all, right?
Yeah.
You have to listen to your body's own intelligence and know what works for you in that moment, right? So basically, yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining us, CJ, for joining us. We appreciate you for all those who are joining us right now on the Global Talkative series with our guest, Diela Okran, certified health and life coach. Now, if someone is interested in coming to, you know, be, get some learning or tutoring from you or something about, coaching,
Mhm.
how can they get in touch with you? What do they need to do? Is it kind of a payment structure? Do they have to pay, or how can they get this kind of? You mentioned 14
Okay.
days, 90 days. So if someone out there is interested in building up his a balanced health lifestyle,
Yeah.
how do they reach you,
Yeah.
or what do you need to know before coming?
All they need to know is that they want to get healthy. that's all they need to know. They need to know that they see, um most of what I coach people on ends up being dependent on forming new habits or strengthening habits that already exist, right? That will make you healthier. So basically, what you're doing, like the website, we have the website up there. If you need to speak to me, if you go to the website, I have my contact information there. And basically, you reach out, and the first thing I do is to send you a form, like I said, to fill out, so I have a eye view of what is happening now, and then we have a conversation. Now that conversation, usually, there is a consultation fee, there is a fee for it, but one thing I'm gonna say now is gonna say at the end, but one thing I want to do for the people who are watching now is that, that fee is gonna be waived till the end of
Wow.
the what is today? How many days
Today
till
is
the end of the month?
18.
And so we still have some time. So till till the end of the month, I would like to waive that fee for them, and so we can have that conversation. So no risk, basically. When we have the conversation, if I'm a right fit for you and you're a right fit for me, then we can work together. Then we talk about, depending on what program we're doing, we'll talk about what fee it entails. And don't worry, I'm not gonna break your bank account. It's not anything crazy, but we're gonna waive that fee for anyone who's watching this program today on your live, and yeah. So basically, they go to the website and they get in touch, and we can go from there.
Thank you very much. We have about like 8 minutes more before the end of this live chat. So our audience, our guest today is offering you a free consultation valued at $75, free to get, to get your house in order, to get your health, wellness in order. Just for those who are watching today, you have to mention today and probably, show up this part of the video that yes, you did mention this. And for those who are watching today, thank you so much for that.
Yeah,
Now,
for sure.
Running up, we have this issue going on in our community right now. We know the coronavirus pandemic is no longer in news, but we have the racism pandemic. And being an African woman, I'm sure you have your own experience in regards to racism. How have you been able to deal with this kind of issue?
Yeah. To tell you the truth, because I grew up in Ghana, racism wasn't something that I saw a lot of. I saw other things, but racism, because we're all Black. So who are you being racist? I think it was more of colorism than racism back home. But moving here, because I wasn't, I guess, when I'm comparing it to maybe Black Americans who have dealt with this for years and years, they have like more of, they can catch it. When someone does it, they can catch it right away. I didn't have that just because I wasn't sure what to look out for, right? So it was more of a retrospective thing. Something would happen, then I think about it and go, I think about it and go, was that actually something that was racist or, So I had to learn the signs almost because I wasn't catching them right away. But I think it's good because it wasn't my focus when it came to getting stuff done. I just did stuff. I didn't see myself as different or as other. And I think most of that is due to the fact that I grew up in an environment where I didn't have to deal with that. And I'm grateful for that because people who have dealt with that at any level, and I believe I have too, it's just that I have to sometimes sit down and recall, that may have been a certain like microaggression or something like that. Now, the way I have dealt with it, I think I just see in my situation, I'm like, this is me, this is the abilities that I have. And I give of my best wherever I can. I see myself as human, right? So when someone sees me as other, I see it as a problem for them, right? Yeah. A problem for them instead of a problem. That's the kind of perspective I choose to have for it. But then I understand when it's staring you right in the face and someone is like, oh, so what does your hair do? How do you get it to, like, even in the workplace, you have people like treating you like you're some other, like you're some, like people say, some zoo animal that they have to pet you or whatnot. It's just educating yourself. I've had to, especially with everything that's happening in our world today, especially in the US, I've really had to educate myself on how that came to be. And if that, just so you know, right? Just so you're aware, and you can also educate people about certain things. So if someone comes and they're touching your hair or they're saying, oh, you're very pretty for a Black girl, or you speak very good English for an African, or like you they're so, okay, I think that's the one that I've gotten a lot. a lot of, oh, you don't sound. People would talk to me on the phone, and then they see me, and you can see because I'm a dark
Look on your
skinned
face.
girl. You can see the look on their face. Someone actually once told me, "Oh, I thought you were," and they were about to complete it as like white, like, like you could tell that's what they were gonna ask. But it's, I guess when you're faced with that, sometimes when you're not familiar with it, you can it it catches you off guard, so you're not sure how to respond. But unfortunately, we're living in a world where it happens and it's not really going away. So you kind of have to know how to respond to it, as hard as it is, with love, and from a place where you're like, okay, I've, even as a Black person, I've had to educate myself. So there's some people who generally need to be educated and have to educate themselves as well. And there's some people who are straight up just not right, right? So yeah, for me, it's been a case where I've had to go back and see, oh, where did I actually ever experience these things? And also educate myself so that when I face it, I know how to deal with it, and also be able to educate other people about it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today, Tiela Okran,
Thank you.
certified health and life coach, for taking time, to come on our show. We have our audience saying, I can relate,
Yeah.
specifically testifying to the same issue we're discussing. And it's been an awesome time on the Global Talkative series today. We've been, chatting with the amazing Diela Okran, here from Calgary, a certified health and life coach. And today's topic has been health and wellness post COVID-19. We appreciate you all by joining us around the world on this edition. We thank you. You are the reason why we do what we do, just to make sure that we are there for each other. Like we usually say on this show, you can either be your brother's keeper or your brother's killer. Until we come again your way next time with another amazing topic, with another amazing guest. It's bye for now from me and Diela. Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye.
you.